Hello and welcome back to another Rightly Witterings with me, Michael Jecks, the tea drinking author with no tea right now. Very sad, but I'll survive. Now, notebooks. I thought today it'd be interesting to talk about a couple of notebooks which are almost superb, but not quite. First of all, you know I love my William Hannahs. These are superb. Perfect paper to write on with a fountain pen. Really good, efficient system for taking notes, and beautiful to boot. I also have my permanent in my pocket notebook, which is this, because it's short, it fits in my cargo trousers pocket very happily, and it has both a brilliant, and it is brilliant, notebook with is it 7mm? I forget how big it is now. But the line spacing I find is absolutely perfect for me. And it is, yes, 7mm difference. Whereas all too often notebooks nowadays seem to be about 6. And that's not ideal for me. I have big writing and I've got lousy eyesight. What's also nice though is that it comes with sketchbooks that you can use. Now this is a watercolour, very short watercolour I did yesterday, but no cockling, no messing about with the paper. It is superb for a daily carry for going sketching and things. So I love my William Hannah and I love my Paper Republic. And I love lots of others. Now this, why am I talking about this? This is Maigret and the Young Girl and Danger Ahead by Simenon, except it's not. Because this is a notebook from Blackwell's bookshop in Broad Street, Oxford. Now, these are made by a company called About Blanks. And what they do is they take old books which are in dreadful condition, rip out all of the pages and replace them with good quality plain paper. I don't think they do any notebooks with lined paper. I think they're all plain and they're brilliant, absolutely wonderful. If you've got something that you want to keep secret, write it in this, stick it in your bookshelf. Now they do a number of different sizes. I go every year to Blackwell's because I'm an expert for the Smithsonian. With Smithsonian Journeys, I do their Mystery Lovers England tour twice a year. Next one's coming up in April if you're free. And in Blackwell's, I like to drop in there because it's just a great bookshop. But they have various sizes of these notebooks. They're all the same price. They're all, I think, £20. And some of them are fairly thin notebooks. Some are quite fat like this. But they're just gorgeous for that ability to lie concealed in your bookshelves. The only problem is if you're writing in ink like I do, the paper's absolutely rubbish. Here, for example, we have a few samples of my writing. And on the next page, we have all of the bleed through and ghosting that you could possibly imagine in your worst nightmares. If you're using a very fine pen, here, for example, I was using Diamine Sepia with, I think this is an extra fine Pineda pen. That didn't come through too badly, but there's still ghosting that I can see. You may not see it on the camera. So it is not good for writing with fountain pens. What it is very good for though is doing sketches. So I use this all the time. I'm currently on a blitz trying to do one sketch per day. And as you can see, a lot of them tend to be the dogs because I tend to have more time out with dogs than with anybody else. And there's a Hercule Poirot, and there's a picture of my little Ridgeback when she was a pup and apparently bored. There's my wife when we were out at the seaside a while ago. So for that, it's absolutely superb. With a pencil, brilliant. I think with a biro or a rollerball, it would also be very good. But for me, no good at all for fountain pen use. So I love it. It is practical. It is jolly useful as a concealed notebook. But it just lacks that little something which you get from good quality paper. Now, the next one is this. This is a Midori, an MD, and it's just called an MD notebook, I think, which is a strange one because it has this card-ish cover with this kind of raggedy, almost fabric binding. But this has the great advantage that it opens out beautifully flat and it takes fountain pens without any problem whatsoever. No ghosting, no feathering of any sort. So you can see here a bunch of writing, absolutely nothing came through. On the opposite page here, more writing, nothing came through. It comes with its own bookmark, that's nice. It's also rather nice that it has larger size lines. Again, I think these are 7mm, the same as the Paper Republic. But I like the fact it's got this separation, so each page actually has 2 blocks. So you've got 4 blocks for every 2 page when it's open. Why do I like that? I honestly don't know. But it just looks good, and it means that when you're going to write some notes of some sort, it's not daunting. It hasn't got anything clever, it hasn't got page numbering, hasn't got a section at the top where you can put the date or anything, but as a general use notepad or notebook, I find these just absolutely delightful. It's rather like the Paper Republic notebook, but slightly taller and without a cover. It is just about perfect, apart from the fact that it doesn't have a cover and it doesn't fit in any of my standard leather notebooks, which is a shame. And that's why this remains beside my bed almost all the time, because it is one of the best practical notebooks to keep for ideas to jot down at night. And there you have it. For my money, 2 of the very best notebooks that aren't quite right, and aren't quite suitable for me. Very close, both of them. I mean, this is very close indeed, if only it had decent paper. This has the most fantastic paper, but it's just not quite as convenient as that for everyday use. And if I'm going to meetings or something, I'll take that because it's better. Weird. So, having said all that, what's your view? What's your favourite type of notebook? If you've got any comments on this, then put them down the bottom, and obviously like and subscribe and hit the bell and all that rubbish because you're used to it. And if you've got some spare time and you want to support an author, you could buy me a coffee, but you could buy a book. And there's an ever-expanding number of my books now, with all the new books from Boldwood and various others. So feel free to buy one. And in the meantime, I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea now because it's about time. Thanks a lot for watching and speak to you soon. Take care.